Hello and welcome back everyone to the next episode on SAP Generative AI training free video series on anubhavtrainings.com. In the last episode, we talked about the concept of deep learning, and in today's session, we are going to cover an associated concept of deep learning called neural network. In this series of videos, we are learning only the basics. For detailed training on generative AI with BTP, kindly subscribe our end-to-end training on anubhavtrainings.com. So let's understand what is neural network with a real-time example of how does a neural network will be able to do image detection with an example. So let's get started. So a neural network, also known as artificial neural network, ANN, or a neural net, that are a class of machine learning model inspired by structure and function of a human brain. Like our human brain have neurons connected together, and when we see some information, a dog, a cat, a train, a bus, a bike, what our brain does, it sees it and it passes through certain neurons which has this memory which stores the information about these different artifacts. So it will then let us think, let us know what exactly this particular object is. Suppose if I give a ice cube in your hand, yes, and I blindfold your eyes, what will you do? You will first see it is cool. Okay, very good. One neuron say it is cool. Another neuron says it is structured like a cube. Third thing, it says it's watery, it's melting. Yes, so then these three information your brain will process, different millions of neuron will process this information, and then eventually you will be able to make out a decision that it's a ice cube. So they are fundamental building block of artificial intelligence, particularly in the field of deep learning. How they work, how the neural network work? Neural network are composed of interconnected processing units called neurons, just like our brain, arranged in layers called input layer, then one or more hidden layer, and then output layer. So you see, this is the input layer, this is the output layer, and then these are called hidden layers. You see the ones, why they are called hidden layer? Because these networks are designed by these top companies with different frameworks, and they are trained with the specialized hardware with GPUs. So we don't know what is there inside each of the neuron, what is this particular neuron is processing. Just like when you see somebody, yes, they look at you, you don't know what are they thinking in their mind. Yes, because that information is hidden in their brain, what are they thinking about you. So this is why they are called hidden layer. Yes, now one or more hidden layer and output layer, each neuron process the input using a non-linear function called activation function. So just like one of the neuron or some of the neuron will process the size of the cube, then second set of neuron will process its cool, then third set of neuron will say it's watery, right? So these are called activation function. So inside each of these neuron we have activation function and transmit the n output. The connections between the neurons, or the current connection between the neurons have weights that are adjusted during the learning. So what happens, let's say if I give you a Rubik's cube and then if I give you ice cube, both are cube, but one is watery and cool, but one is a normal. But let's say if I put the Rubik's cube in the fridge and then it is as cool as ice, but what will happen, it's not watery. On the other side, one of them is watery. So what will you do to detect a ice cube? You will give weights, your brain will give weights. So there is a simple formula to calculate, the neural network calculate the result. So usually the formula is basically the output is equal to sum of I equal to 1 to n, where you have n number of parameters, then you have wi xi plus b. Yes, now what is w is called weight, then you have x, which is your input, and then you have the bias. Now let's say if I give you a cold ice cube and a Rubik's cube. So this is your ice cube and this is your Rubik's cube, which was kept in a fridge. So what happens? You are blindfolded and now these two cubes are given to you and I give you in your hand. So first thing what you will see, you will see the first cube is cool. Okay, cool. So what are the parameters? What is the input? Cool, dimension, the size and dimension, and watery or not. Yes. So your brain will say cool. Okay, let's give this as 0.5. It's cool. Let's give weight as 0.5. It's cool. What is size? The size doesn't look like a size of a ice cube, but let's say still I give zero point 0.2 weight. This one I will say 0.3 weight. Then what is it? It is dimension. So dimension look very big. Usually ice cube is not that big size. So I give 0. Yes, because my goal is to detect it's a ice cube or not. I'll get zero point 0.5. Then I'll say watery. Here it's 0, but it's 1. So when you look at multiply these weights with different input, what you got, then you will get to know which one is an ice cube and which one is not. So basically weight is what the neuron will calculate for you, and input is what we give. So this is the input X, this is the output, let's call it as Y. Yes, this is our output, and these are hidden layers. And now each of these neuron will give a weight to your input. So certain information will pass through these neurons. They will keep adding the weight, and that way, once the weight has been added, it will calculate. Plus, it will also have some bias. Yeah, for example, in my company, one person is scared of ice. Yeah, they feel it very cool. So I will also have a bias there. So if let's say Rahul is giving me something, he will never give an ice. Yes, whereas Priyanka is giving me something, she will always give me an ice. She love ice. So this is my bias, that if the Rahul is giving me something in my hand, most probably chances are it may not be ice. So that is my bias. Yes, so additionally we also add the bias information. So this is the formula typically the neural network will use to calculate the value of output, the value of Y. Yes, similarly it will use to calculate images, image detection. Yes, sentiment analysis, all these kind of things the neural network can do. It can do. Okay, so we are performing the calculations based on the input, weight and activation function until the output layer is producing the result. Yes. Now, training, how the training is done. As I told you, the training involves analyzing large amount of data set. Where do you get this data? You get it by doing web scraping. You go to Google, you go to Kindle, read millions of books. Yeah, you train with millions of books of data, web data from Google, Wikipedia data, yes, or encyclopedia data, or books from the library, or people's experiences. So based on this data, you will train your neural network. So often using supervised learning with labeled data first. Then a cost function measures the difference between predictions and actual value. The techniques like backpropagation adjust the weight and biases to minimize these differences and improve the accuracy. So let's say initially when you start the training neural network, it will not give you the accurate results, but over the time it will improve. How? So you get the result, and now you will basically back propagate the result. Let's say you give a photo of a cat. Yes, neural network detect it as a dog. Then you will basically back propagate your result into the network and telling the network that this is not a cat, this is not a dog, it's a cat. So now it back process the information, and then next time you give another photo, again you give the feedback. So it back propagates the feedback that what you gave me was wrong. Yes, what you gave me was wrong. So over the time it will train. Like when a baby is there, we will tell the baby it's a cat, but baby say no, it's a dog, papa. Yes, then you over the time when baby is growing, you are keep telling, the keep giving the feedback to the baby. Now one day will come when baby will detect it accurately whether it's a cat or whether it's a dog, right? So this is the way you treat it like a baby, and you keep giving the feedback. This technique is called back propagation. Now, what are the different types of neural network? So first is called feed forward neural network, or multi-layer perceptrons. So in this case, think like a juicer. So what is feed forward? Juicer. The input goes, output comes. You never give back the another input, or you never give the output of the layer one to the another neural network. You just have, one side direction, input and one output. So this is what the feed forward neural network is. It's like a juicer. You put the carrot inside and the juice is coming. The juice never go back in the juicer again, right? So that's feed forward neural network. Then we have recurrent neural network. It is designed for sequential data with feedback loops. So suitable for natural language processing and time series analysis. So what is recurrent neural network? Think like your wife or your mother is making a making a soup. So what they do, they first make a soup, then they take little bit on the spoon and then they give it to you for testing. Then you say, mommy, I feel the salt is less. So what they do, they again add some salt to it, then they again mix it, again they will give you for feedback. Now you'll say, this time I feel like lemon is less, or this time I feel like the garlic is missing. So then they will add again, then they will improve. So in this case, recurrent neural network, where you will always have a constant feedback loop cycle. So you take a feedback, then you give the feedback, and then you improve over the time. So this is the another architecture of recurrent neural network. Then we have convolutional neural network. It is primarily used for images using convolutional layers, which have extra specialized neurons which can process image data faster and better. Then we have generative adversarial neural network, or so-called transformers. So these are basically two competing networks that generate realistic data like images, videos, and audio. This is the foundation for all the generative AI tools which you are using in nowadays, like ChatGPT, or Llama or Claude AI. All these companies, they are actually this kind of a network which is able to generate new content. So this is called transformer architecture. We are going to understand this transformer architecture now in our next slide. So now once again, this is just an example. As you can see, a neural network have input, have output, and then it has multiple layers. These are called hidden layers, and each one of them have something called function. Yes, we call them activation function. So activation function get activated for certain type of input. Yes, let's say if you're giving a image of a dog. Yes, so dog have ear, dog have eyes, nose, yeah, shape like this, legs like this, right? It has 4 legs. Yes, so if you give a duck photo, then another set of activation function in the neuron will get activated. But for a dog, for a cat, there are special neuron which will get activated in this. So you can see this is a neural network, and you see the ones which are the active line, there are a lot of blue lines, but some are active, some are inactive. So which lines, which activation function will get activated when you pass the input, that will be then feeded to the next part of the neuron, set of neuron, layer 2. Yes, so first it identifies the pixel values. Once it is detected certain activation function got activated, it feeds the data to the next layer, which is layer 2, that identifies the edges of the dog. For example, just I'm giving an example. Then once the edges are identified, then it goes to the next layer where it identifies the combination of edges. Yeah, there are 4 legs, so by this time the legs got detected. Now then goes to the next layer where features like eyes, nose, ears, tail, all these are detected here. So finally you get an output as a dog. So this just the way our brain process the information, same way the neural network will process the information. Is specially designed and it is used for detecting images. With that, thank you so much for watching this video with me today. If you feel this content is helping you, kindly subscribe and share this channel in the WhatsApp group of your company teams. And I hope to see you in my next episode. Happy learning. Till then, goodbye and see you again.